Okay, this episode is about purifying water. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, there's two ways you can do it. You can do it over a campfire, and I'll get into that in a minute. Right now, just basically you make a campfire and you're going to be boiling some water. The other method is using Clorox bleach. And you don't want to use any of the scented ones. You want to just use your plain ones. You can see it says kills 99.9% of germs. Okay, and this is basically 6%. Cleans, protects surfaces, keeps clothes whiter, longer, this is 6% chlorine. Now I wrote right on here, water purifier, 2 drops per quart. So if you got an eyedropper, you're going to put 2 drops in to purify a quart of water. That will kill all your bacteria and viruses and everything. Or 8 drops per gallon. Okay, so I wrote it right on there so you won't forget. Or I won't forget, I should say. But that will purify hundreds and hundreds of gallons of water. That one little jug. Now you have to realize though, as soon as you open this up, it's only got a 1-year shelf life. So as soon as that's open, you know, it's going to have a longer shelf life if you don't open it. Now the other thing I see people doing with their RVs, I saw a woman doing this recently, a couple months back. And it's very dangerous. She went to a dump station. I happened to be in line with her. And they have hoses at these dump stations. And they're just for cleaning out your sewer system. Like when you dump your tanks. Okay. That's my gray water tank going back in there. And that's my black water tank. And these hoses, they're used to clean out these areas and the hose that comes off of it into the dump station. Okay, that's what that hose is for. It's not for drinking water. And what I saw her doing, and I corrected her, I said, boy, you know, she was putting it directly into her water tank in her RV, you know, right in here. So that's, you know, where you have your water coming out of your sinks and showers and stuff. And because a lot of people have diseases, you know, and they're sticking that hose up in here, they could have typhoid, they could have hepatitis, a lot of different diseases are going to be in their holding tanks. And then when you stick that hose up in there to clean out your tanks and stuff, there could be hepatitis right on the hose, or typhoid, or anything. I mean, I have a lot of diseases. So this woman, I said, you know, you can't use that hose to fill up your, it says like potable water only. Sanitize, flush, and drain before using. Okay, so I suggested she flush her tanks, or shock them, they call it. And that would be to put in the 8 drops per gallon. If there's 25 gallons of water, like she filled up her tank, then just multiply 8 drops per 25 times. Shock her tank, and just put that Clorox in there and leave it in there for a few hours, even a half a day or whatever. Then you have to flush the tank completely, drain the tank, and usually that drain is underneath here. There'll be a drain under there. I'm not going to crawl under there to show you where it is. You have to drain the tank and then fill it up again with good potable water. Those water hoses at sanitary stations is not potable water, and it even says it. It always says, this is not potable water. That means it's not supposed to drink it. Okay, and this is a city water connection. This is where, like, if you have chlorinated water, like at a home or something, you can hook up a garden hose right to here, and that's a city water connection. That's okay, you know, if you connect to city water, because that's already been chlorinated. It's got chlorine in it, like your Clorox. Okay, so that's one big mistake I've seen some people do. Like I say, I saw a woman doing it recently, filling up from the sanitary station right into her trailer, into her holding tank. 25-gallon fresh water holding tank. That's very dangerous because there's a lot of sick people out there. Not just COVID, there's some very serious diseases and everything that's spread through the water. Okay, the other way to purify water, let me just show you. I'm using a titanium pot, and I just put it right on a campfire. And if you have a lid, it's better. Okay, you can see how it's boiling. That's all you need. Make a campfire. As soon as the water hits even a boil, it doesn't have to be 10 minutes. It's killed off all the bacteria and everything. Okay, putting a lid on will make it boil quicker. But if you don't have a lid, that's okay. But this is a titanium pot, and these are super lightweight for backpacking, and they're super strong. They're very hard to damage. It's got the collapsible handles on here, so you can collapse the handles when you're backpacking. And like I say, super light. And you're gonna need something to lift off these lids if you have a lid. But anyway, that's purified. As soon as it starts to boil, it's killed all the germs, bacteria, everything. You don't have to wait 10 minutes. Matter of fact, you only have to get up to about 180 degrees. You don't even have to get to 212 degrees before it's killed off all your bacteria and stuff. So I'm purifying some water right now because I don't trust any water that actually comes out of my holding tank. Unless you've shocked your system recently, you can get bacteria buildup and stuff. So you really should be using your Clorox and shocking your tanks and cleaning them out. And like I say, 8 drops per gallon. So you got to figure out how many gallon freshwater tank you have. I have a 25-gallon tank. So 25 times 8 drops, whatever that comes out to. That's just your basic 6% chlorine. Okay? Don't use any of those scented ones or ones with all the other, stuff in it. It's just a pure Clorox. That's all you need. So I don't drink the water. I'll shower in it. If I'm cooking something and boiling it, I'll use the water from the water tank. Because after it's been boiled, it's killed off any kind of bacteria or germs, viruses, anything that might be in that water. Otherwise, I do not just drink it out of the tap, ever. I get fresh water from those freshwater supply stations. They've got all over the place, especially out in the West. There's really good prices out here. I've seen as low, the average is 10 cents a gallon. So 5-gallon jug, you bring it up, it's 50 cents. I've seen as low as 5 cents a gallon. And that's good desalinated, filtered water. It's not chlorinated, it's filtered, which is much better for you. Chlorinated water, city water, you can have, there's a lot of issues with it. I don't like the idea of, chlorine. Like I say, if I did to shock my tanks inside this trail, I would dump it all out and then just put in good clean water. But, just using the desalinated water at those water stations, because that's not chlorinated like city water. City water is really bad for you. That chlorine you're ingesting and putting in your stomach. And after years and years, I've heard a lot of horror stories about chlorine. Chlorine is a very potent chemical. Matter of fact, when it turns into a gaseous form, if you just breathe in one breath of chlorinated gas, chlorine gas, it would kill you. It would ruin your lungs. That's how dangerous it is. But anyway, I thought you might get some tips here on how to clean your water. And if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you got 2 methods there. You have your chlorine. You should always have your Clorox. Or you can, with both pots, you can put on a campfire. Like if it's all stainless steel pot or something like that, you can put it on a campfire. I like titanium because it just holds up a lot better. It's a lot stronger and it's a lot lighter. So I just put some pine on there on the campfire. And I've been burning, after I made this fireplace, I started raking back all the pine needles and branches and everything for like, oh, I don't know, 30 feet diameter all the way around. So if something pops out of here, out of the fireplace, and lands on the ground, you won't have a ground fire. So if you, as you can see, I'm still burning off some pine needles and pine cones and this kind of stuff. Okay. First thing you want to do before you even start a fire is you want to get that stuff in there. So I'm working on this for 2 days now. Get a rake. You see how flammable it is? I just threw that on there and look what happened. Here's my cooking grate. I'm going to be doing probably barbecue chicken again tonight. I just love barbecue chicken. But anyway, that's it for this episode. This is Eagle Eric signing off.